Hi everybody, it's Alison from digiteachonline.com. Welcome back to the channel. Today I have a super interesting tutorial for you on how you can make your lessons more exciting, engaging and interactive, be it you teach adults or children, with one super piece of kit. The best part is that it's absolutely free, and if you want more different effects, etc., you can upgrade, but you can already do an awful lot with this free app to get started. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel because I discuss everything to do with digital tech, teaching online, and more importantly, how you can brand yourself online with your own educational business, which is what I do. I have a special mentoring program if you are interested in having special coaching with me, or you can even get my latest book. But let's get started with today's tutorial. Let's go.
I press the button and the doors go up. Whoa, that money clip us now, the new now looks like. Whoa, upgrade her diamonds, now her girlfriends are like. Whoa, 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 whoa. I hit record it, drop, you can't ignore it.
Hello everybody, it's Alison from digiteachonline.com. Today I'm just going to do a very useful, hopefully, walkthrough Manycam to replace Epic Live that did not stream well. I don't know what happened when YouTube compressed it. It was just so weird. It wasn't good. So we are going to, I thought I'd just record it again. So here we go. So if you've never been to Manycam, you just go to manycam.com and I'll bring it up for you actually. Manycam, here we go. Manycam.com, there we go, and it's a really brilliant piece of kit. It's free, you don't have to pay for it, although I really think it's definitely worth it to upgrade, and I'm going to leave a little voucher code down below to give you a little special deal. And if you upgrade, you get loads of extra things, which are just going to make your life a lot easier when you're teaching online. So once you have downloaded it, you'll be brought to the settings area, which is here, and you go to subscriptions, and here this is where you will have some kind of a coupon or a code or something like that, and you put it in there and you're good to go. So this is where you have all of your general information. This is where you tell it where to save the recordings to, and or save a copy if you want to. I don't, because it just clogs up my hard drive. And you can also choose your video settings and your audio settings, which are quite good. All of this I'm not going to go into today because that's for when you add additional cameras to Manycam to have it from different angles. When you start, you will just have something like a blank screen. I don't know if I can get a blank screen. That's probably okay. Something maybe like this. This is my FaceTime screen. So I'm obviously using an HP Logitech. So I right click on my mouse to bring up all of these options. So I'm going to choose HP Pro. However, you don't have to use all of those options, just that option, sorry, and I'm going to go through a few of them. I use the black quite a lot, and then I superimpose with the presets here an extra layer. So I'm going to show you how I do that. Did you see that? I just went here and add an extra layer. I right click again, and then here I can decide what I'm going to have in here. Let's blow myself up a bit more. What I'm going to have in here and what I'm not. I can decide, actually I don't want that, I'm going to take that out. So it can be quite useful. You can put an image in here, you can add media files, you can even play a YouTube clip or video. So it's really, really, really useful. Now, lots of people think you can just use Manycam to teach children. So for example, I'm going to go over to here, and here I've obviously got a smaller screen and a larger one. And you can even use the Manycam virtual background here, which I don't think works very well without a green screen, because you can see it pop in here. I think you need a green screen. They say that you don't, however, I think you do, because that doesn't look great. So these are all some of the effects that you can have and you can use on Manycam for kids, but I'm also going to show you how you can use it for adults and how you actually create these different resources, if you like. So I'm going to go through all of that. So let's start at the top here. If you want to make whatever that is highlighted, whichever square is highlighted, so if I wanted to highlight this blue one here, I would go up to the top and I can make it bigger or smaller. And with this one, I can make it bigger or smaller. Okay, bigger or smaller. That could be good if you're playing a game, or if you want to focus in on pronunciation, or if you're having a bad day, move yourself back. It's up to you. You can also change yourself around like this and also switch which side you want to be on. So it can be quite useful. Here is where you can kind of control all of your darkness and your lightness, and also other elements here. So that could be quite useful if you have lighting issues. The FPS stands for frames per second, and I recommend it's 30, and Manycam do as well, unless you're doing very specific work. I'm obviously recording this at 1080, but for example, if you are working on a platform, 480 is probably going to be enough. But for freelancing, I use 1080 for recording for my curriculums. And if I'm streaming live, I use 720. I find that tends to work okay. All right, now then, let's just go into the microphones. So here you can set up your microphones and add microphones just by clicking down. You can also add different music, such as this, which is quite fun for my adults. And for my children, something a little bit more child focused. I teach French mostly, by the way, so that's what all of that is. And as you can see, I actually set up my lessons with a selection of different visuals, because it's a bit boring for the student, be them an adult or a child, just to see the same face and the same square. I like to really mix it up, so they have a different there are different elements to my lesson. And I also plan my lessons like this as well. So my lesson will normally have maybe 6 to 8 different slides with all of my work already preset, with my resources, which are here, my visuals, and also my text, which is here. Anyway, we're going to get to that. So here, this button here is the draw and text. Now you can use all sorts of elements like blur, which I don't normally use, the pointer, excuse me, the pointer just for pointing to things, the rubber, so let's just say you make a squiggly line and you, oh no, I want to rub that out. I don't normally do that actually, I just press cancel and it cancels the whole lot out. You can have a stamp, so you can have here you can add, excuse me, sorry, extra things here like a stamp, and shapes, which can be quite useful when you want to draw to an element. It's just making the lesson a little bit more fun and a little bit more interactive. You can add stars, you can do all sorts, okay? So it can be really good fun. And the speech bubble, which is what I was doing. So this could be, you know, very useful in your lessons. This here controls the thickness of the pen, so obviously a thin line here or a thicker one, and you can change the colour here, so that's quite useful. For the text, go back up to draw. For the text, I normally have all of my lessons already mapped out with everything that I'm going to have. But what I tend to do is not have it all on the same, all on the screen at the same time. So, and I just think that helps the student as well. So instead of having everything kind of all there, I might just have a little bit. You can play around with how you want this to feature. And you can also play around with the size of the font as well. So that's really useful. So the font is a good idea. Okay, and I also find that the students really like this and they prefer it to, let's say, a whiteboard. They actually prefer this to a whiteboard. First thing is all the reflection. You can see all the reflection. The other thing is that it goes back to front. And this removes all of that. And what a lot of them do is they screenshot it or they take pictures on their phone with a lot of students. Unless they're obviously in your curriculum with your own course like I have, then they don't need to do that. But let's just say you don't have that and you're working for a platform, then maybe that's the sort of thing that, I mean, I know I've seen lots of parents in the past like, quick, take a screenshot. So there you go. The timer is really useful. I use a timer here when I'm playing like games and quizzes. And I quite often use the red one. I like the red one. So even with adults, I use this in my group classes. I do group adult classes. They really like this. The timer works really well. And I'm like, quick, 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 give me the answer. They're very competitive. It just makes it a little bit more fun. And it also helps you to get your students to interact, even adults. Okay, so you have the virtual backgrounds. Now Manycam have updated this, like they say that you can replace this with the green screen, but I always have, I just don't find it works very well without the green screen. So I will always use the chroma key and then I would use the green screen. But there is a selection of what they already have, or you can do a custom background, which is where you upload your own, which is right at the bottom there. You can't see it, but right at the bottom it says custom background. Lower thirds are really useful to either give information or to add hints to a lesson or to a question, and also you can use them to say hello or goodbye. If you're working with kids, it's quite nice to present yourself. It's a nice little touch. So you can just put in what you like there, and there is a selection of different lower thirds. I quite like this one as well. It's quite cool. I really like that one. This one's quite nice too if you want something a little bit more pro. And know that when you change something on a lower third, you have to switch it off and then switch it on again in Manycam for it to work. I think that the font's better up there than it is on that one. So let's get to the effects. So the effects are really cool. Now, like I said, lots of people are here. These are all the effects. So I have literally dozens and dozens and dozens of folders. This isn't even half of them. So I've got like a folder on Harry Potter. So everything to do with Harry Potter is here. Obviously, I'm a big fan of Harry Potter. I was a resident blogger for Gingerbread, which J.K. Rowling is the chairwoman or the chairperson of. It's one of her charitable organisations, and I was a resident blogger for a number of years whilst I was going through uni and doing all of that. So I'm a bit of a fan of that, but I do generally just love Harry Potter books anyway. My son, who's now, like, my kids are teenagers now, so they've both got girlfriends, and one of my son's girlfriends doesn't know who Harry Potter is. Like, she's never read a Harry Potter book. And when she came round to tea, I said, "Oh, have you read all the Harry Potter books?" She went, "No," and the whole family, we were like, so a bit of a no-no. So there's also background effects. Please use virtual backgrounds instead. Okay, so that's something they've updated, which is a shame. I'm going to have to try and work that one out, because the platform of 9/4 is really good. So you have all of these sorts of elements that you can use for kids. The other thing you can use for children I have to go back here, are rewards. So for example, I have the dancing stars, dance, dance, dancing star. So that works really well. And if you do Command Shift, I'm on a Mac, it's Command Shift, you can duplicate them. And at the end of the lesson, they might get 5 stars. Dun, dun, dun. I'm a bit funny about the stars and the ratings, because I know from experience with ESL platforms, let me just move that out of the way, that they are so obsessed with these ratings. And it does seem to be a massive element of stress for the children. If you've ever done assessments or anything like that, you will always find if a Chinese student is going to be absent, it's going to be on the day of the assessment. So it kind of gives you a big insight into how fearful they are of failing, which is a bit sad, really. Borders are really useful. I love my borders. I have lots and lots and lots of different borders for all sorts of different things, alphabetical ones, number ones. So there's lots of things you can use for kids. Another thing I have is the candy bag. I use this a lot, especially with my French students. Donc, c'est le bonbon. Qu'est-ce que tu veux choisir? Je veux un bonbon. So they have to dites-moi la couleur en français. Tell me the colour in French. And you can also do this in English. And if they get a question right and they say the right colour of the bonbon or the sweet, they get it. And obviously they get teacher bonuses at the end. So it's all fun and games. So you can use Manycam effects in this way, and you can also use them to talk about introducing vocabulary. So like vocabulary, like coat, if you're talking about the weather. Oh, it's raining, you can make it really fun. Let's have a bit of a rainbow. Obviously I'm hyper cluttering this right now, obviously just for the purpose of the demonstration, but there's loads and loads and loads of things that you can do, and I just think all of this just makes the lessons so much more interesting and fun than Zoom or Skype, which are, without any kind of thing, a little bit limited. So that's that. Now let's have a look at how I use this now for adults, because I also use Manycam for adults, and all of my adult students absolutely love my lessons. They all say they're rather unique and they really like them. I did a lesson once on online shopping, and this was really useful, and I've used the same type of thing for adults, for business clients that I have when they're having to work with different types of fiscal forms or more formal procedures, and also making sure they know all the understanding when we go online. They have to sign up. What's a sign up form? What's a capture form? Now all these things are really, really obvious to us, but they're not always to foreign students. Even describing like all of the icons up here, this is also really important. And when you have adult students, business students, just helping them to practice understanding what these are and practice remembering what these icons mean and what this all means really, really helps them in their job. And don't forget, it's not like teach it one and repeat. You can use these sorts of things again and again and again. Add to cart. They kind of all get that one. Doesn't matter what nationality they are, they all get that one, the add to cart. I did some purchasing once on Amazon, and this was a really interesting lesson. And this just shows how important branding is in Amazon, because they knew the branding of Amazon, even though the Amazon screen, I mean, this is pretty jumbled up, this compared to the sign up form, but because they were familiar with Amazon and all the rest of it, they weren't they did find this difficult, but they weren't kind of overtaken by it, because there are a lot of boxes, a lot of colours, lots of words. And don't forget, they're reading all of this in a different language, so they might understand some of it, but they're not going to understand all of it, even with auto translate. So it's really, really useful. And then obviously business things like mouse, what have you. So this is one of the ways that I use the images for adults. Another way I use my blackboard with adults is, I'm just going to get rid of some of these things on here, and the timer, I'm going to take that off, is like this. This works really well. I put this here, and I'm just going to get rid of myself here on this preset. So right click, and I'm going to make myself a little bit smaller, so like this. Okay, so I'm going to take that green screen off as well. Take that off. Okay, so with my students, especially my lives, this works really well. So we will have a discussion. They will have access to some of my class materials or my lesson materials before I'm actually going to teach the live. And I'm just going to add a bit of light. And then here, if I'm explaining something, I can say, you know, as you would do, what did she say? You know, what did she say? Put that in the middle. And they find this really useful, so they can see my mouth and they can also see what did she say, what did she say. It's a lot easier for adults than the kind of the whiteboard and the and it's kind of get quite messy. So this is really really nice. I do also have a massive whiteboard on my wall here when I'm doing bigger things, but they really like this. And you can still underline this, and you know, I quite often I will draw on the background. What did she say? There's lots of ways that you can use Manycam to really give a lot of extra emphasis and meaning to your lessons that you can't do in a PowerPoint as much. I mean, I know you can draw on a PowerPoint, but I just find this really useful. So there we go. So that's how I use Manycam. Also, you can record. So if you wanted to record a little bit of something for your student or for your curriculum, you just click on here and press recording. You can stream live. So you can stream to lots of different places live. You can take pictures. There's a whole heap of things that you can do with Manycam just to make your lessons a lot more interesting and fun. You can also do like face masks. I'm not sure. Oh yeah, here we go. Face masks, which can be quite fun. depending, depending on your clientele. So tell me, guys, what do you think? Is this useful? Is this a useful way to make your lessons rock? If it is, leave me a little comment down below. Let me know if this is helpful for you. And I also just wanted to let you know as well that I have an excellent little book available on Amazon if you were thinking about teaching online. I'm going to bring it up here. You can get it from the DigiTeach website, but if you have a Kindle or you're subscribed to Kindle, you can get my latest book here, which is how to get private online students for freelance tutoring. It's a simple read. It's 85 pages. You can read it easily in an evening. It's number 314 in small business advertising, which is quite good. And this is obviously some of the techniques that I've used to build up my own online language businesses. So I have one modern foreign language school, predominantly with the UK, where I work with different schools providing modern foreign languages. And I also have an English language school, which is mostly to do with adults, and that one is monetized by Facebook now. And I'm currently working on a unique curriculum with Baguette the Bilingual Bear, because I'm obviously the author of the Baguette Bear books for children, and that's at the demand of lots of the adults that I teach that know that I wrote those books. And because they've had lots of lessons with me and they know me really well, kind of, as well as you can through a screen now, they're like, oh, can you teach our children? And really, I think there's just once you start teaching for yourself online, there's no limit. I've had a lot of the times I get loads of messages. I get loads of messages every day. I get messages for teaching. And I think if you've seen any of the shorts on DigiTeach Online, the DigiTeach Online YouTube, I quite often will show how many bookings. I wake up in the morning, I've got another 43 bookings, another 48 bookings. I have to be careful with how much I'm shown at the screen, because a lot of it is branded content, because obviously I get paid for brand collabs and all sorts of things now. So I can't share everything, obviously, because I'm not allowed to. But I do share what I'm able to, so that you have a real sense of, an understanding that this is real, this is authentic, and that it's doable. I'm just an average teacher. Yes, I have always written, and yes, I do have award-winning books, and yes, I have done some amazing jobs and worked with some amazing companies and things, like obviously the J.K. Rowling one and all the rest of that. But at the end of the day, everything in this book you can do. What I do, you can do. It's not undoable. It's not untouchable. So if you're interested, get the book. And if you want to take it further and actually have me show you how to actually do every single thing in the book, then go on the Teacherpreneurs Challenge. I think it's 179 at the moment. And if you want to go the full hog and want to learn all about course curriculum and branding and all the rest of it, then do the Teacherpreneurs Evolution Program. So there's loads. You can start now and really start building your own online business, your own online tutoring business. And you will very quickly see, I've literally written an article today, actually, for Medium. You will very quickly see, once you start investing in yourself and you kind of change your mindset from not being in the kind of fudge land of ESL platform where it's like, apple, nut, which is ever so slow. Once you're not doing that and you're working with adults and in other ways, you kind of speed up your mind process, because I do think working in ESL platforms, it does tend to slow it down. Once you start speeding it all up, you start to see lots and lots of opportunity. I remember one of the most amazing emails I had was somebody had watched a couple of my lives on my Facebook page, and I had been emailed and they wanted me to teach 2 entire schools. I'm like, I said, I'm just one person, you know. And they said, but now obviously then I was, but now I have teachers that work with me and all the rest of it. But I was just over, you know, they just said, we want you to teach all of the schools, the men, the women, and the children. So I was like, okay, great. So, but that would never have happened if I hadn't have taken the initiative to start doing what I do. And the big secret really, the golden nugget in all of this, is my social and digital marketing. I don't do what everybody else does. I use quite a lot of unique content marketing, and that is in my book. And what I do and what I'm doing, you can do. So I hope that helps you. Anyway, that is my little demo on Manycam to make your lessons rock. Which I did have a really somewhere I did have here, it's gone now. I had a great big sign saying make your lessons rock, and just to give you, you know, another useful little tool. Like I said, Manycam is free to use, to start using. You don't have to pay to use it, but if you want to upgrade, you can, and you get lots of these extra different things. I've been a pro user for years now, so I don't actually know anymore. I know you can use the resources and things. I think it's like the watermark. You have like a Manycam watermark or something like that. Different things like that that you kind of need to get around if you want to be a bit more professional. But I'm going to leave a little link down below, and if you're interested in upgrading from the free version, you can, and you'll get one of my voucher codes and you can like get some money off. So there you go. And if you haven't yet got your TESOL, last week I think it was, I did a video. I've partnered with an academy and you can get a certified TESOL for £19 instead of £119. So lots of opportunity. If you take the TESOL, Manycam and my book, that's it. I hope that's going to be like TESOL, Manycam and my book. It's not even 50 quid and you're going to be good to go. You have everything you need. So enjoy. Anyway, leave me some comments down below. Let me know if this has helped you. Let me know what you're doing to teach, and let me know what questions you have, and if I can do anything else to share and help you doing what you're doing. Have a great evening, everybody. Goodbye, and thank you for your time. Goodbye.
I press the button and the doors go up. Whoa, that money clip us now, the new now looks like. Whoa, upgrade her diamonds, now her girlfriends are like. Whoa, 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 whoa. I hit record a drop, you can't ignore it. I'm